I love about this fella is I said, hey, what do you want me to say about you before you come up? And ladies, he told me to let you know outright, he is a flat out sex machine.
Yeah!
I don't know, I haven't sampled it. I'll let you know tomorrow. Follow me on Facebook. You guys give it up for your next comedian. His name is Brent Puccio!
Thank you.
A huge turnout.
Yes, I haven't. Let me just say that. So, I'm Brent Puccio. You guys see.
Okay.
I got a question for you guys. Have you guys ever pretended to be something you're not? And I'm not talking about, I used to be a man trapped in a woman's body. No, not that shit. I'm not talking about faking macho or faking confidence. I did something and I turned that around. I pretended to be the Batman. Thank you, Batman's always funny. So, I was at work, and I just start going Batman voice. Have you checked the restrooms recently? These floors are dirtier than the streets of Gotham. And it fucking worked. Like, I took her back to the old Batcave that night, and we had a grand old time. Now, I'd never done that before, so no red flags came up, but she turned out to be batshit crazy. Like, she jumped me like Vin Diesel, fast and furious. I was not into that. And then she wanted to do all this choking and like beating. Like, it's 50 Shades of Grey shit. And I'm not Chris Brown and she wasn't Rihanna. But, so I'll try anything once. So I was up there and I'm trying to choke her and stuff, and she's like, harder, harder. I'm like, alright. So I've never done this before. So I'm choking her, and I'm thinking to myself, no one is going to believe this if I accidentally strangle this girl to death. Like, the cops are not going to be... Sir, I was pretending to be Batman, and she wanted this to happen. No, the officers, I'm going to be in jail fast. So I'm choking her, and she's getting this light shade of purple now, and I'm starting to get a little freaked out, and she goes, I love you. Now let me tell you guys, nothing gives you a limp dick faster than when you're fucking Barney the dinosaur, and if she tells you she loves you the first time you met. However, it had been about a year dry spell for me, so I hopped back on the train and went another 9 rounds. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I like to pump myself up right before sex. So I sing theme songs in my head. A lot of you guys are probably thinking like, I Had a Tiger, Rocky Balboa. No. I go back to my childhood. Now wait, I know that sounds weird. Let me explain. You guys all know the Pokemon theme song, right? Except I switched the words around a little bit. So basically, if you're ever having sex with me, this is what's going through my head as we're both taking off each other's clothes. I wanna be the very best, like no one ever was. To fuck them is my real test, to train them is my cause. I will travel across the land, searching far and wide, to find a woman to understand the power that's inside. And it's just those lines that need to get me up. So, and I'm good to go. So, next time, try it, guys. Try it. It works. It works real good. I've been single for a while. I'm allowed to go to strip clubs now. But let me say one thing. Fuck Hollywood. You know why? They set your expectations so high when you go in the strip club. They're unmatchable. So I walk in there, and it's dark, damp, and it's this really weird smell. And I'm walking, and there's this pregnant stripper grinding up on what I'm assuming is some senator or politician. So I keep walking, and the rest of the strippers, they're in these like cat ears, and they have tails. I don't know about you, but that looks a lot like bestiality to me. And I've never wanted to fuck a tiger or a cheetah. Just pussy. I don't know, I'm just a simple guy, I guess. So I finally sit down, and this black stripper comes up to me, and she sits on my lap, and she goes, you want a little dark chocolate sugar? I look up at her and go, sorry, I'm diabetic. Needless to say, no one sat on my lap the rest of the night. But it was still a good time. Now, you guys ever get awkward boners? I know you don't, ladies, but the guys. Awkward boners. I used to think work was the worst place to get them. You just be like ringing somebody up at 7 a.m. and whoop, there it is. But for no reason other than it's awkward boner time. Ladies call me Jesus Christ because I am rising. So you're there and you're ringing up people, and you can't adjust it because it looks like you're just playing with yourself. and you want to be. Don't act like you're not impressed. However, you want to keep your job, so you just got to kind of ride it out. Now, other honorable mentions for awkward boners would be getting a boner at the kiddie pool at Wet n Wild, that's hard in itself because that water is cold as shit. And then maybe you're just having dinner with your grandma and the table starts rising. Ooh. Awkward boners. Now, I don't know if you guys have heard this, but there's a group of teenagers that have created these condoms that change color when an STD is created. Or is detected, not created. Alright. But I don't know what I was doing when actually I do know what I was catching Pokemon. I didn't have time to catch an STD. I didn't even fucking masturbate until I was a sophomore in high school. It's like, shit, I was a late bloomer. But these kids, like, what is going through their minds where they're like, bro, we gotta stop spreading this shit. We gotta find a way to detect to see if they have an STD. One guy's like, let's make STD condoms. Now I'm gonna go full Breaking Bad on you guys, so bear with me a couple seconds. I guess how these work is the antigens of the condom react with the antibodies of the STD to change color depending on the disease. So it glow green if you had chlamydia, yellow for syphilis, and blue for, what's another STD? Herpes, there you go. Stay on. So if I know I don't have any STDs, and if I'm ever having sex with a woman and my dick starts glowing when I pull out, girl, if it glow, you got to go. I am gonorrhea. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I was scared to death when I was buying condoms for the first time. It could be because I was like 19 by the time I first had sex, so I was a late bloomer, so it was weird. Like, I should have been a pro at this by now. But there's so many different shapes, colors, and sizes. Like, you walk down the aisle, what a surprise. There's a condom of every shape, color, and size. You keep on walking, and what do? Find your favorite color, and like a Pokemon, I choose you. However, unlike Pokemon, you don't want to catch them all, so I guess that's why those guys made those color-changing STD condoms. So, you guys remember the Batman story I started off with, right? There's more to it. So I was at a party with one of my buddies, and he was hitting it off with all the ladies. And then he even had two of them going to his bedroom at one time. And it was getting pretty late, so I had to go. But I saw him the other day at work, and I asked him about it. I go, so buddy, did you win the belt? You all know what I'm talking about, right? Yeah! You guys know what the belt is, right? Yeah. All right, good talk. That's when you have a threesome. But he just winked at me, and then he started telling me about this girl he was seeing named Barbara. And I stopped. I'm like, Barbara? Barbara Gordon? And he stops dead in his tracks and he just stares at me. And he goes, no. I'm like, what? He's like, no fucking way. I was like, what, bro? He goes, you're the Batman. I go, what? So I had never told anybody that story. He goes, yeah, she said this tall, geeky guy who pretended to be Batman took my virginity. And I was like, oh shit, she was into some weird shit. I had no idea. I guess she watched a lot of porn or something. But yeah, now I guess I'm known as the Batman, and I have an Eskimo brother, so there's that. Now I don't know about you guys, but people like to name their genitalia. And I had never been into that until this Batman story. So I decided to name my penis the Dark Knight. Let me tell you, the ladies love it when the Dark Knight rises. So I haven't seen Batgirl for a while, but recently she texted me out of the blue, and she came over, and disaster struck right off the bat. She found my comedy journal. And she's like, oh, what's this? And I was like, oh, that's just my comedy journal. She goes to pick it up to read it. I was like, no. Because little did she know, she was the first story in the comedy journal. She goes, so what are you writing there? I was like, comedy, poetry, that kind of stuff. She just goes, write me a poem. I was like, okay, give me a word. And she goes, condom. I was like, really? Condom? You want me to write a poem on condoms? She's like, yeah. So after 5 minutes of having sex with Batgirl, this is what I wrote. I'm going to do a disclosure. This is like if Dr. Seuss went bad. So, it's called Condom. Oh Trojan, my dear friend, one day our journey will end. But until then, I pray you do not break a child I do not want to make. So do your job and we'll be okay. I shall not be a daddy 9 months from today. You come in big, small, and extra large. Once I put you on my dick, I'm in charge. I have tried your many styles. With your help, oh, the number of ladies I shall pile. Your fire and ice makes my dick hot and cold. Even Katy Perry thinks they are bold. But one day you gave me quite a scare. On my head did grow a gray hair. Even though you did not last through that night, you tried to hold my semen with all your might. I heard a pop and thought, oh fuck. I pulled out, and there was just a ring around my big buck. At first I thought I broke my junk. Thank God there stood stiff my big hunk. I dove right in, but to no avail. The condom was there, but oh, did it fail. I told her to rinse, and she said she did. However, months later, she said we were having a kid. That's not something you just throw on a guy months down the line. If it wasn't for all the lies, our relationship might have been just fine. But now we're through, and there's not much left to say. But I'll still trust the Trojan till this day. And I read that to her right after having sex with her, and she just stands there. She's looking at me, and she goes, and now you're writing this right after sex. Too bad it's about a condom that broke with your ex. Thank you guys, I'm Brent Puccio.